Welcome back, family, friends, and fellow gamers, to Game Bros, playing Link's Awakening. I am now in Turtle Rock.
Facing the devil?
Yeah, I know.
That's what I saw. I'm like,
I've got full health.
And actually...
Yeah, that's what I thought.
This is a good point. This is a good, it actually is a good point. A lot of times when people think of, and it makes sense in the sense that that's what basically society's said and whatnot, but like...
Why aren't you shooting them, like, at me?
I don't know. But
yeah,
I was gonna say, like, people think the devil, it's like, oh yeah, he's like red with horns and a tail and a pitchfork. Like, if you actually get down to it, biblically, it tells you what the devil looks like. He says it transforms himself. Yeah. No, it says he transforms himself into an angel of light. So meaning, or at least one of the ways to interpret that and see that in reality, is that he tries to play himself as a messenger from God. He tries to make you, like, he's lying to you, but he tries to make it seem like, oh man, this is something, you should do this because, God would have you do this thing, even though it's not. And I guess he doesn't always appear that way, but that's one of his tactics. It's one of his ways he deceives. Anyway, so it's not like some guy, he's not gonna tempt you and be like, he's not gonna tempt you and just be like, murder this person. If that's not something that you're gonna be, susceptible to. He might, I'm not gonna pretend like I know per se, but
Harry,
he'll come at you. Come back. I have one heart that's missing.
Okay. Yeah. Did you want to talk about a Bible reading passage?
You can.
I mean, I'm the one playing, so.
I don't have my. It's over there. I'll go grab it.
Do I do this then? How do I? I thought we could. Do I kill them by?
I think you just hit him a lot.
Really?
Well,
I'm boomeranging him a lot. Yeah, I don't think that's... Maybe you can't kill those.
I'm pretty sure I have, but...
I've been hitting him, like, nonstop.
Yeah, I mean, don't worry about it. Well, I mean, I actually... I don't want to say that because there might be like, you needed the key that spawns,
Okay, let's not do that room then.
Do you not want to try it? I mean,
I was hacking him for like 4 years. Not that long, but I don't, unless, you have to like hit him in the back or something, but he's just doing the same thing. He's doing that. This guy's got a lot of health. Yeah.
It doesn't look like he's getting hurt. Like he's not turning red. He's just doing that like, oh, I'm stunned.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think you can
run through them. That's what you do.
Oh. That is a good idea. Let's line it up.
There we go.
Line it up.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's a key that pops up on that rock in the middle, and you're like, I can't get it, dang.
Yeah. Thanks for the key. Ooh, another Mario level. So I have to fight Bowser.
What?
Oh, I can't get up there.
Oh, wow. So I guess I brought my notepad or whatever, and I just picking the last thing I'd read, and actually...
Yeah, that's right.
Well, no, it's not the last thing I read, whatever. I'm just picking something.
The beakless statue is saying something.
Yeah. But the passage, or I guess I'm just kind of reading the notes and whatnot I read, but this particular things are in Mark 11, so I'll read some stuff and then go from there. We just start talking about it. But Mark 11... Let me get to that. Or no, this one.
No, dang it.
So Mark 11, verse 16. And this is out of the Amplified, just because I have an Amplified, what's it called, Parallel Bible, King James Version, and then the Amplified. And this is the little header thing says Jesus cleanses the temple. So this is when he goes in and basically chases everyone out. Which seems kind of like an odd thing. It's like someone going to church, like, get out of the church. You're like, what? If you don't actually look at the details. Because it's like, why would the preacher be wanting people out of the church? Wouldn't that be the other way around? Anyway,
that doesn't make sense. Oh, that's the other way.
but it says, let me just read not the whole thing, but I'll just say, and they came to Jerusalem, and he went into the temple area, the porches and courts, and began to drive out those who sold and bought in the temple areas. And he overturned the four-footed tables of the money changers and the seats of those who dealt in doves. And he would not permit anyone to carry any household equipment through the temple enclosure, thus making the temple area a shortcut traffic lane. So I saw that, and I guess I've read that before, but the Amplified, that's something I want to look into because I don't know where it's getting the extra information, and I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. Like, enough people have, said that they like the Amplified. I'm not going to say like it's all wrong. It shouldn't believe, but I also don't want to just blindly say, well, it says it here, so like I don't want to just do that. Anyway. I have not had the chance to do that, but that's something I do want to do. Like, where is it getting the extra stuff? Anyway.
Sorry.
But in the New King James Version, he just says, and he would not allow anyone to carry wares through the temple. And it specifies, like, shortcut. But I'm just thinking, like, yeah, using the temple as a shortcut for traffic is... I guess I don't know exactly. To me, it's a very disrespectful thing to do. I'm not entirely sure. Go ahead.
I thought the reason was because it was like a store. It was a commercial place, and it's supposed to be a whole... Are you serious? Why didn't he grab on? I only lost 1 heart for that?
He just jumped into the lava.
Thinks I can swim it. Oh my gosh, Link!
Oh gosh, you can jump from the ladder.
Yeah, I have to just go down on the ladder, I guess.
Oh gosh.
I have to go down. Oh my gosh! I'm not doing this on purpose. Come on. All right, go down here, then jump.
Oh gosh.
Golly.
Yeah, it's a good thing Link has like an infinite number of lives because he just like one slip up, he's dead. Yeah. The Hyrule's dead. Oh, Hyrule's dead again.
Yeah, and that was our hope.
Oh gosh. No, it's what ends up being is that Link is in like he has a, whoa, wow.
What?
Okay.
Probably shouldn't have done
Go
that.
back, can you have him like run the other way? Yeah, run that way. Because he's making little platforms.
World?
No idea. But every time Link dies, like he transports to an alternate reality. So that reality is now doomed because Link's dead.
Yeah.
So he always wins, but just the reality he leaves behind is just dead. Another reality,
That was like, only half a heart, so...
Go ahead, what were you going to say, though?
I always took it that because, like, the church is supposed to be a reverent, like, a place of worship.
Right.
It's supposed to be respectful, and they were treating it, oh, darn it.
As more of a marketplace.
Yeah.
Like, I thought I had heard, and when I say heard, I'm usually meaning, like, from someone, not necessarily... I'm not going to say an unreliable source, but I just kind of heard somewhere, maybe a preacher or something like that, that it wasn't necessarily the selling of the goods. It was they were like charging people an exorbitant amount of money. And I guess I could be wrong there, but like people had to come to the temple and sacrifice per what the law had said. And so it's like, if you came from out of town and you're in the temple, you had to buy... If you didn't bring stuff yourself, you had to buy it and then sacrifice. So it's kind of like, and again, I could put partially wrong, but it's like if you had to buy, I don't know, for lack of a better term, it's kind of like if you have to go to the Super Bowl and you have to eat there, they're just like, charging like, a hot dog that cost them 10 cents to make, they're charging like $12. Like that's way over the top.
Oh.
But if it was doing it to make money, but anyway.
Yeah. I've heard that. I
don't know if that's at all the case. So like, what are you controlling him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Darn it. Okay.
I mean, is there okay. I'll say, is there a reason to like fill out the whole thing? But
I think that might be what I have to do because every time, yeah. How? Okay.
Well, you can blow up the top part.
Huh?
Like there's a.
Well, now I'm stuck. Darn.
There, go to the top.
Go to the top.
There's
Oh, that. I didn't even see that.
Anyway,
But yeah.
that was one of the things. The thing I wrote down, I think I just wrote down, I just said people were using the temple as a shortcut. At least that's how it reads in there. But yeah, it was no longer they weren't treating it like a reverent, like they weren't being respectful of what was being done. It was now just kind of, they were making it a normal part of their, normal everyday things, which there's nothing wrong with making, church a normal part of your life, but there's a level of respect and awe that you should have for the things of God. That's what holy means, is set apart. It's not commonplace. Mm-hmm. And so the temple was supposed to be a holy site, and they're just kind of like buying, selling, moving this thing. Yeah, here, we need the fish. I don't know if they moved fish. I'm just speculating, but it's like, yeah, we need those things on this side. So just go through the temple. We'll just get there faster. It's like, wait.
Yeah, it became
Do you need to fill out the whole thing?
Well, that's what the owl said.
Okay,
It was
start
like,
here.
fill all the holes, blah, blah,
Okay,
blah.
so start here and then go
Like
left,
here?
up, left, up, left, up, all the way around, and then down.
Okay.
Good job.
That was it. So,
Up, yeah.
up, left, up. Down, right, down, right, down, right. Right, down, right. Up, darn it. That didn't work. How do you get
No,
that?
you can. So
Go down.
let's see. You fill. out.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I wasn't. I was paying attention.
Oh my God.
I don't know how you're controlling it, but it looks like he'll just stop moving in the direction or something.
Okay.
So anyway, another bit in that I had written was regarding verse 20.
Sorry, continue. I'll just be...
Regarding verse 20. And so previously in that passage in verse 12, it says, now the next day when they had come out from Bethany, he was hungry, speaking of Jesus. And and seeing from afar a fig tree having leaves, he went to see if perhaps he would find something on it. When he came to it, he found nothing but leaves. And then this passage in here, it says, for it was not the season for figs. I want to comment that real fast. It's not what I'm originally going to talk about. But our guide in Israel actually pointed out that passage and said it's not what we typically translate it as. Like, there were two types of figs in that particular thing. So it was, there were figs, and then there was another type of figs which he was thinking this tree is. So it should have had fruit. It wasn't the season for normal figs that we think of when we translate figs.
Because that's
something else.
I remember reading that and
English
I wrote it down
figs.
that I was confused about, because it's like, just to put it in today's terms, it's like...
He went to the apple tree. Yeah, he went
Jesus
to the...
wanted to watch football on TV, but it wasn't football season, so he cursed all of football. And it's like, but it's not football season. How is that the tree's fault? That's one thing I wrote down that I was kind of confused about. But if you're talking about like that, there's different types of figs, that makes more sense.
What he had said, and I probably have that in my notes from Israel.
I should not have come this way.
Let me look that up. I probably wrote fig down at some point.
What's down?
I wrote a lot of notes.
Because now I have a key. Oh, there's nothing here. Now that I have a key, where else can I go? Have I found a door? There's the devil again. I'll just pass you by. Have not been in here yet. Snakes.
Well, I don't have it there. Don't think so anyway.
Interesting. Cyclops.
Okay, well, random, sort of random fact about fig trees and cisterns, and anyway, it says cisterns are where rainwater is collected. So when we think of cistern, when an American, I guess, thinks of cistern, we think of like a well, it'd be a water well. Well, a cistern is not technically a water well. It is a place where you draw water out of the ground, quote unquote. But what they do is actually they dig into the ground, or I think that's actually they dig into the rock, and then they plaster the inside, and then when it rains, water funnels in there, and then they have water for the dry season. That's how that works. It's not like water well in the sense that you had water from the water table. Anyway, so roughly the same thing in the sense of a water source, but works a little different. It said cisterns are where rainwater is collected so it can be used in the dry season. And it said fig trees will commonly grow out of cisterns. The fig tree is a good identifier of a water source. So that's actually one of the things that we actually saw is there was an old cistern, and like nowadays they don't use them as often because they have like modern piping and whatnot. So, but there'll still be cisterns out in places, and a lot of times there'll be fig trees growing out of them. And so from far away, from very far away, you can look and say there's a water source over there. Okay. So that's just kind of an interesting, and there's probably significance there. But anyway, so yeah, I apparently don't have anything down that I wrote down for that particular thing. But I'm pretty sure he did mention that there was a different type of fig, and so that statement isn't necessarily wrong, but it's not. I mean, it wasn't talking about the figs that grew out of that tree.
And just like, why doesn't Matthew specify that?
Well, I think,
or not Matthew, Mark. Why doesn't he just say, "Oh, well, there's two different types of figs," so that's what he was talking about?
Well, it's one of those things like, why would you need to explain something that everyone knew? Everyone he's talking to would have known that.
But I'm sure they should have realized that. Not like this is the Bible. It's not just for people of that day and age, you know.
I don't know if that was the intention when they wrote, like when they, in their minds when they wrote it. I'm not saying.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know. I'm not going to say I know everything about it.
I mean, it's not their fault. I'm not saying. It's just interesting.
Anyway,
it's like, oh, this is only for the. This was written only for the Jews. Like, yeah, but I don't know.
Anyway,
whatever.
But it says, in response, Jesus said to it, "Let no one eat fruit from you again," and his disciples heard it. So, yeah, they heard it. And then later on it says, "Now in the morning as they passed by, they saw the fig tree," this is verse 20, "they saw the fig tree dried up from the roots. And Peter remembered, said to him, 'Rabbi, look, the fig tree which you cursed has withered away.'" And I saw, and I've heard teaching from this.
I can stun Satan.
I think from Pastor Jack. I think anyway, or our pastor at the church. Can you like hit his magic balls out of this thing somehow? Anyway, you can like boomerang him.
Huh.
But it said it points out the fig tree dried up from the roots, and then I just wrote down the fig tree dried up from the roots. God deals with the root of the problem, not the symptom. Obviously. The tree wasn't bearing fruit, but I guess I just drew from that, or I guess maybe more was reminded. You don't. You just
go past it.
Yeah. Like there was no way to turn them off.
Another key. Oh no, the compass. Okay.
But a lot of times, and I've found this with a lot of things, just in general, anytime there's a problem in doing anything, like actually politics and social problems is a huge example. But we'll talk about gun violence, you talk about racism, you talk about anything in modern society, actually anything in any society. That's all a symptom.
Yeah,
it's not the main problem.
Yeah.
And Jesus and God, they are the same person, but they want to deal with the actual problem, which is sin. It's the rebellion against God. Because if you get that right, everything else falls into place. Anyway, so just I thought of it.
Yes.
What did I say here? 23, 24. Yeah.
Just gonna do that. But also, like when Jesus cursed it, and was like, "Oh wow, I didn't know it was going away." There was no visible.
Right.
Like the disciples. This is a block of solid ice. It's very cold. Do I get a flaming sword? That would be cool.
Can you?
I mean, I can. I'm assuming I'm gonna need something.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not gonna try to go through my arsenal and.
You could blow it up, maybe, but bombs don't create heat. They well, necessarily. The heat of the bomb is a byproduct. It's not the point of the bomb.
So, but my point is, Jesus cursed the fig tree, and then the disciples maybe were waiting for like some crazy, thing to happen, and nothing happened. I wonder if they were like, I guess, maybe it didn't, or maybe he meant metaphorically or whatever.
Yeah.
But then the next day, they're like, whoa, it actually did die.
Right.
Okay.
This is the first temple this is the first temple we've seen that was like lava. Can you push that one up?
This
That one right there? Yeah.
No. Can't push that one that way. I can get over here.
Yeah.
Aha!
In this block.
Yes.
Now the problem I have is solved. It's great.
I'm gonna go back down here. I can't do anything. Can I push any of these? Yes, but that doesn't do anything.
Go back up, and then come back down. Can you push the middle one? Or no, I guess that won't matter because you can't push one up or down. Yeah. Okay. Go back up. Go back up. Can you push the bottom one? No.
Yeah. Oh, let's see.
Just to check. Okay, cool. We can push all three. Not that
Can
it
I
matters.
push this one?
Not that it matters, but you can push all three.
Can I push this one?
We know that now.
Okay. So you can push those three, but so far not any of the other ones. Okay. We should add that to the walkthrough.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. It's like you can push these 3 blocks up. Next, you want to move over here, and it's like, wait, what am I pushing them up for? It's like, oh, you're not. I'm just commenting that you can.
What's down here?
Like,
That's
okay.
that. Okay. Do I have to go that way? I think I do because I can't. There's no way for me to get back.
So here's
Yeah, I think I have to go back.
here's another thing I wrote down. Same passage. So verse 20 and then 21. 21 says, and Peter, remembering, said to him, Rabbi, look, the fig tree which you cursed has withered away. So Jesus answered and said to them, have faith in God. 23, for assuredly I say to you, whoever says to this mountain, be removed and be cast into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that those things he says will be done, he will have whatever he says. Therefore I say to you, whatever things you ask when you pray, believe that you receive them and you will have them. And I wrote down basically that many people that profess to be Christians do not believe any of those words.
No.
And it's like-
they believe it as far as salvation goes, and
Yes.
that's it. Like I've said it with my mouth, I confess it, I believe I'm saved,
right.
but then that's the extent of it.
The biggest thing, like I've heard several things like, oh, well, he was talking about a figurative mountain. Well, he does say, and I'm not gonna, I'm just gonna point out what I'm thinking, what I'm singing here. And I've heard this too, but it says, whoever says to this mountain, he doesn't say like whoever says to a mountain, he says this mountain. Why would you say that without like, the only way I'm seeing it is he's pointing to a mountain and says this mountain. If you say it to this mountain and do this, it will do this. And he also just cursed the fig tree, and it did what he said. Like he's drawing whatever he's drawing.
Want to point out that when people read that, they're like, "Oh, so I can just say anything and then it comes to pass."
Yeah.
Like
that's not how.
Oh wow, I can grab fairies with that.
The boomerang?
Yeah, I didn't know you could do that. It's anything according to God's will. So if there's a mountain, like if there is a mountain that, you need, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a scenario, but it's...
So here's something. So I would agree with you.
So it's not like, I get $1 billion and 100 Lamborghinis. Like, okay, we'll find out in the Bible if that's God's will for you to have $1 billion and 100 Lamborghinis. It's not just anything. So yeah.
So I would point out. I guess I don't want to say I point out this, but
man,
I would more. At least the way I'm reading that, I would more say that it's something like you couldn't say something that's against God's will. And what I mean by that is you can't say, I will have this other man's wife. Well, clearly that's not God's will. So you can't use his faith that he gave you to get that because it's not. He's not going to be behind that, basically.
Yeah, but I want to rob a bank.
So the other thing I have to point out here, he says, if you say, be removed and be cast into the sea, and then here's to me is what like the main point of this, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that those things he says will be done. Meaning you have to have faith that what you say will be done. Mm-hmm. And Keith Moore brings a good point, just in speaking about this passage, is that That shield is so useful.
I know.
Is that if you are confessing something, but like say you say to your son like, oh yeah, we'll play ball after work, after I get back from work, and then when you get back from work you don't feel like it, so you just say, okay, well no, I can't, I'm tired. Okay, well you actually lied. That's a lie. So I'm just being frank here, but you said something and then you didn't follow through. So by definition, that's a lie. Now that is kind of a crude way of saying that, but anyway, so going forward with that, if you say something and then you don't follow through, basically he was saying that your own heart knows that you're not really telling the truth, so you can't
your
say
words
something.
are not as
they don't have
powerful as
power
they should
because
be.
you're saying something, but you don't really believe it because you've lied before and you're not really gonna tell.
Yeah.
You don't really follow through, so it's not really, you don't all that. Yeah, I guess his point was you can't say for sure without a doubt that you're telling the truth because you maybe not habitually lie, but you are not committed to doing what you say.
I need help. I don't know where else to go.
You can still move him up
this way.
Up. Yeah. Now, can you push that block to the left?
This one?
No, that block to the left. So then you can get there.
Okay.
So that lets you get there, and the devil's chasing you.
My gosh. Yeah, get out of here.
Ugh, that is kind of annoying. So there's another key. Okay, so we have some progress there anyway.
Okay, cool. We made progress. Next time on Game Bros, we will keep exploring this Turtle Mountain is what it's called or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, what the? Well, right through my trusty sword. So guys, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and be blessed.